Wear that dress, woman. Wear that dress. Sing that song. Hey, everybody. Barbara Caden, Barbara Ryan. We got two barbers in a row. No video? Y'all not getting any video? Eric, are you not getting video?
Just don't know what it is, can't seem to pull.
Yes, I can. All right, hold on. Look like we're having problems already. Hey, everybody! Now all the what you calls are coming through. I wanted to start the broadcast this way. I'm gonna try this again. Let's see if we can get this going again from the beginning, though. Here's my girl. We're gonna try this time. Let's see if this works this time. I'm gonna step off. Happy Tuesday, everybody. Here's my girl, Anika Chambers. Check her out, and then we're gonna come back on and do some talking today. Eric, a lot of people say we was good. They can see it, but I guess we couldn't. I don't know what that was.
I'm still trying to get over you.
A few people say it wasn't working for them also. Hey, but we here now, baby. Live at the Suga Shack. Start out tonight with Anika, my buddy. Ego Prado band out of Brazil. Check it out.
6 nights and a day.
Yeah, Eric Warren said the video was working fine.
6 nights and a day.
Well, we gonna make it do what it do. There's always something. That's life. That's why they go to the YouTube channel. We don't have no problems.
I walk the floor now.
68 today, that ain't bad. It's already 90 here, I believe. 81 at the moment. Hopefully my computer don't get too hot. I got the fan blowing on it, and I'm spitting on it at the same time. I even got the press there. We'll try to keep it as cool as we can.
Stop wasting time, baby. Make up your mind. Don't put on tomorrow what you can do right now, honey. Well, I prefer.
Start the day out with my girl, my home. Love you, woman. Strong, powerful woman, singer, entertainer, entrepreneur. Miss Anika Chambers Deslores. I know I still messed the same up. As quick as I can speak. Ow! Hey, everybody, this is the Sugar Man. That was Miss Anika Chambers Deslores. And she gonna call me and slap me because I messed that up. Today, my guest will be the one and only Mr. Dennis Jones. And Dennis and I go way back further than y'all can even think. We known each other. I think I knew Dennis before I even got into the whole blues world. So I known Dennis for a minute, y'all. Them my people. And you know what? From the first time I ever met him to the second time I met him on the streets in LA walking around with my wife, the cat has always been like one of the coolest, down-to-earth folks I ever met. And whenever he's around me, I'm blessed. So you guys are going to get blessed today for my man, DJ. Oh, look at that. Got my rap on tonight. You know, I was feeling like Rick Ross. I'm getting Rick Ross on tonight, y'all. Right on. Listen, y'all, today we're just kicking it. We're having a good time. It's Tuesday. I want to say special shout out to Stephanie Gonzalez at Apropos Management, to Magicians Media. That's Tristan DeVito, and Bunny Birkin, aka y'all know Glinda the Good Witch, and to my main Negro, my main man, my main Puerto Rican, my main Japanese, whatever. I'm probably gonna get in trouble for calling people names. Eric Sassaman, the Wizard of Oz, out there in Seattle, and my man DJ backstage chilling like a villain, looking like he's 19 years old. I'm gonna have to cut him. I'm gonna have to cut him to the white meat, y'all. That's why I bring my duct tape. You never know. We got to tape a brother up and leave him in a locker somewhere. So just so you can get the women. That's it. I can't get no love when he around, but that's all right. That's all right. Yeah, it's all right. It's like the cheetah and the panda, and he the cheetah. But I'm gonna cut him, y'all. All right. Question of the day. I was thinking about this. You know, I don't believe in politics. I don't mean mess around with politics, and I don't believe mess around with religion. But the question of the day, what I want to ask you guys is, how do you feel right now in your soul? How do you feel in your soul with everything that's going on? How do you feel in your soul, and how are you keeping yourself as well as those around you happy? You know, my grandmother, actually, my wife gave me this great book, and it had a long title, and it was a small book, but it's really cool. And it says, "The people around you, do they fill your bucket or do they empty your bucket?" I want you to think about that. The people around you, do they fill your bucket or do they empty your bucket? Today, I just want to know how you feel. All right? Right on. Check this out, y'all. We're going to go back. I'm going to bring one up. I met this guy. I was doing a play in Milwaukee. Big Red is out there. And at the Stackner Theater in Milwaukee. I was there. They brought me there, a black man, to Milwaukee in the middle of the winter, y'all. Y'all, you know, I've been all over the world, but, you know, when you're doing the plays, it ain't like doing shows where you're in and out in a day or two. I was there for like 4 months. So I was living in a little place called the Knickerbocker, right across the street from Lake Michigan. It was frozen all the way out to like a mile out. Like you could, it was so cold, you could walk on it for like a mile out. I was across the street. And it used to trip me out because if I got on every stitch of clothes, I had my London fog on, my Ralph Lauren duck boots. Woo! Hey, don't knock it. I got a real good deal on them. You know how sometimes when you go into Ross, you know, $400 boots, they would sit up in Ross for like $80, and they just happen to have my size. I grabbed them like a thief in the night. Can you dig it? Anyway, I'm sitting there with every stitch of clothes, scars, all kind of stuff. I'll show you some pictures one day. And the sun would come out just for like a split second. Mind you now, it's down to like 10 or minus something. This is like January, February, March, April. And inevitably, I mean, no disrespect, I see some little white girl running in shorts and tank tops like it was 190 degrees just because the sun came out. And they looking at me, and I got on every stitch of clothing I got, trying to sit out there and smoke a cigar. You know, got socks on my hands because even the gloves wasn't enough. And there she is in a tank top and shorts running because the sun came out for a second. I almost had to cut her to the white meat, y'all. I almost had to cut her. just the way you. Anyway, we talk about how you feel today. Here's one for you. I haven't done this in a while. I said all that to say, while I was there, I knew the guy's name and never met him, but we got to hang out and nice, salted earth people. Here is my man, Billy Flynn. Check this out, y'all. Or maybe not.
Well, it's a hard road to travel when there's nobody by your side. Well, it's a hard road to travel when there's nobody by your side. Well, I found somebody that I'm so gonna ride. I'm a good navigator, take me anywhere you wanna go. I'm a good navigator, take me anywhere you wanna go. There's nothing about navigation that I don't know. A good navigator, good navigator, good navigator, good navigator, good navigator, good navigator, a good navigator, good navigator. down. Well, I had a navigator, but she put me down. But now I found me somebody, and I'm sitting around. Yes, I know where I'm going. I've been most everywhere. Yes, I know where I'm going. I've been most everywhere. I know I'm a great navigator out in this world somewhere. Woo! A good navigator, good navigator, a good navigator, good navigator, a good navigator, good navigator, a good navigator, good navigator.
That's my friend, Mr. Billy Flynn. You guys, he is a staple in the blues world. Has been around a long time and is a bad cat. Good people. I still been working trying to get Mr. Musselwhite to come on to the show. He know I adore and honor the hell out of him because he's a bad cat. He's been around, and every time I've ever had the opportunity to sit down and get him to tell some stories to me, it's been a blessing on my life. But anyway, tonight we have my man Dennis Jones. And Dennis is, for those that don't know, you're about to find out, he's a bad mother, man. He's writing his own music. He's doing this thing. He was just starting to, he's been around for a minute, but, really doing his own thing. So he was just starting to jump out there when all this stuff hit off. Like a lot of us, I was moving up the level. Everybody's moving up. That's what you do in this business because there's always some room at the top because it keeps changing and people fall off or people pass away or they just get what they can't do. And that makes room for some of us semi-younger cats to have an opportunity. And so that was what's going on in 2019. And then the pandemic, of course, we don't need to talk about that. But my question is, how are you feeling? How are you doing this? The people around you, are they filling your bucket? Or are they emptying your bucket? Meaning, are they draining your energy or are they giving you energy? And I know some of y'all stuck in the house with these people for 6, 7, 8 months, and you can't say anything because they're standing over your shoulder right now, breathing and slobbing all down your neck. But as my mom used to say, they can't read your mind. Can you dig it? You know what I'm saying? They can't read your mind. Thank God we don't have mind readers because, sometimes I meet up with people, you just like, good Lord Jesus, help me, Lord. Help me. Help me. Help me. Right on. Let me show one real fast. If I got him backstage. And big shout out to my man, Eric Korn. Eric, the whole Grammy nom, all that stuff is because of great songs that Eric wrote and, made it where it was easy for me to sing the living heck out of them. And I just been very blessed. Igor Prado, I met those guys probably about 3-4 years ago. Twice I went down to Brazil to tour for like a month or so with those guys 4 years ago. Igor, Yuri, Rodrigo, who is now with Nick Moss, and they were the nicest cats, young cats, and they were really digging the blues. And man, we had some packed venues down there in Brazil. I was shocked that they were in the blues and soul music so much. And the Brazilians, they were digging it, y'all. They were digging it. So we got a lot of stuff here. So baseball is coming. Okay, Levi Crown. First saw him. What was that? First I saw him was at Adams Avenue Street Fair. Yeah, I remember the Adams Avenue. It's kind of weird. Every time I came down there, I never got the chance to bring the entire band, or I had a lot of subs. But yeah, Adams Avenue. I remember back in the day when I was still living in San Diego and playing with Young Kizzy's boys. I wanted to play that festival so bad, just because it just had that name. It had been around so long. I could get no love. Years later, they were inviting me back, and I couldn't even, make the time to be there. But I was able to, over the years, to do it twice. So that's the first time you saw Dennis Jones. I'm trying to think. The first time I saw Dennis, I want to say was Temecula. And I think, I'm not sure if he was with his band or he was down with my man Alan, B.B. Chung King. But it was it was a while ago. This is like literally before I came over to the blues world when I was still doing soul stuff. So, but I'm gonna talk to them about that. Christina Beer, I said we got people all over the world, Australia, all over Canada, Germany, Spain, all over the United States. And I'm trying to put these up so people can see them, because some people over on YouTube, they're able to text, but they can't see your messages and you can't see theirs. So I'm putting them up on the screen. Let me see. Let me play one more song, and then we're going to move on to our discussion with my man DJ. Let's get this up here. Haven't played this in a while. Check it out. This is from the Dangerous album, probably one of the best-selling albums that I ever did. This was the birth child of Randy Sharkoff. He always promised me that he'd put out a solo album for me when I was working with the Managed Boys. And whatever problems any other people had with Randy, I must tell you that he always kept his word with me. He always treated me fairly. And, even on his dying deathbed, 3 days before he died, when I released Southside, Randy was the one that called City Hall Records, which I just found out went out of business. At the time, they were the third largest distributor here in the U.S. Randy called from his deathbed and got me a distribution deal for Southside from his deathbed. He can do no wrong for me. He loved the blues. Matter of fact, Randy kept the West Coast blues, at least from L.A. to San Diego, San Francisco, everywhere else on the West Coast. He kept the West Coast blues formidable, because Randy at one point was putting out 10 albums or 11 albums with Delta Groove a year. So check this out. This is my solo album from Delta Groove. I'm not sure which song this was. I forgot. But I think it'll be good no matter what. So check it out. Depression Blues, y'all. Come on.
I'm gonna tell you women, you better find yourself a man. And I'm telling you women, you better find yourself a man. Because the depression is coming, honey, and you're gonna need a helping hand. Now all you ponytails, TV mamas too.
Hey, Chef, I need to try to get him onto the show. Get all these guitar players. I got to get me some singers and some harmonica players and some violinists. I had quite a few drummers. Albino Bennett, Bernard Purdy, James Gatson. We got some of the best drummers.
Depression blues. And I hate the depression blues.
For those people who are going to watch this later, hopefully Facebook won't mute this. But if they do, I already gave you the YouTube info, baby. It's going over to YouTube. Better quality video. It's in HD. And no muting. Only one thing on today, y'all. Nothing back. Work it out. Keep trying to get it back in shape. Right on, Colin Briscoe. Thank you, brother. Can't wait to get to Australia.
My mama
to
fried
split a pint, brother.
The reason why she did it, baby, he couldn't steal no Lord, these depression blues.
Yeah, my man Iron Just a car all the way from Mumbai, India. How you doing, brother?
Oh, people, I hate these depression blues.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm gonna tell all you women, you better find yourself a man. And all you women, find yourself a man. Because
Very hard to suck the life out of you. Good Lord. Cut them off, baby.
you're gonna need a helping hand.
right, Depression Blues, ladies and gentlemen, from my album Dangerous. That cover was shot by Marilyn Stringer, and then I think the back was actually shot by a young lady in Spain at the Corzola, as we would say Corzola, but they pronounce it the Corzola Blues Festival, which used to be held in the oldest bullfighting ring in Spain, in Corzola, Spain. And it used to be a great, great festival there. They used to hold once a year. Hopefully things like that will come back. You know, I know Spain and Italy were really, really hard hit like we were. And hope they come back. You know, that's enough of that. Let me see. I was trying to put most of these up here. There she is, Glenda the Good Witch, y'all, who has spring fever. Hello from the Hollywood Hills, who has spring fever. Right on, Glenda. I hear you. Who has spring fever? That's what she said. Oh Lord, that semi-education that is coming through now. I had to look at it twice. Right on. Let's get Dennis up here because time gets to marching on before you realize that we be 3 hours into this, and I'm trying not to do that today, but I'm trying to get up most of these comments so that the people over on YouTube can see them and the people on Facebook can see each other. Peace out, Chef. Right on. Let's see, wait a minute. We have known Dennis for about 10 years. I can't remember the first time, either Patrick's or Humphreys. God dang, Patrick's. I used to have a standing gig at Patrick's with Aunt Kizzy's boys. We loved it, though, because it's in the middle of the gas lamp. And good Lord Jesus. You know, I'd be singing sometime and somebody will walk past the door literally naked. The gas lamp was just playing. But I remember when I first came to California as a young Marine back in the early mid-'80s, you couldn't even walk through the gas lamp without being robbed, raped, or threatened to be killed. There used to be a really seedy area. Only us old Marines and sailors were down there. And they really cleaned that place up, boy. I mean, from what it used to be, from what I know to what it is now, it's literally night and day. But that was when everybody started, all these big cities started going through their downtown revival. Let's bring them on, y'all. Please put your hands together for my friend and the rockin' bluesman himself, Mr. Dennis Jones. Take us a second, and blam, there he is. What up, my brother?
How you doing? Sure.
I'm chilling, man. Thank you for being on the program.
Thanks for having me.
Not the show, the program.
The program. Get with the program.
Remember in old school, you didn't say, I got to go watch my show. You'd be like, oh, my program is coming on in a little bit.
That's right. Good to see you, brother. I'm excellent. How you doing?
I'm still old, but I'm on this side of the grass.
You ain't old. You ain't old, brother. So it's all relevant.
Black don't crack. Black don't crack.
Yeah.
So you've been writing, you've been playing, brother. Talk to me.
Man, I've been just writing a lot at home. I got a little Pro Tools studio here, so I've been working on my acoustic album. I've been writing other stuff on my electric guitar, lyrics I write all the time. So I'm just trying to stay real positive and productive. Back in the gym a little bit, trying to keep myself healthy and shake off some of the boredom that you feel getting stuck in the house all the time. But everything's good. I got no reason to complain at all. None.
Well, listen, I don't know about you, but you remember probably about 8 years ago, everybody overseas, when it hadn't hit the States yet, we was overseas and everybody started wanting, the overseas kids started wanting vinyl. Did you see that revolution being as big as it wound up being? That vinyl would ever make a comeback?
I didn't believe it because I had just gotten rid of all my vinyl that I've had for years at that same time. So I was kind of like, what's going on here? And it's what goes around comes around. So if it's good, it's going to come around again. So, look at some of the art. Yeah, go ahead.
The funny part is when I remember that Sony opened 2 of their vinyl pressing shops in LA that had been closed for like 25 years. And when that happened, I really took it serious.
Yeah. Actually, if it was selling again, I'd actually do my last album in vinyl. But I thought about it. But when you're not touring and all, it doesn't make any sense really, because that's the only time you're going to get rid of it. Without the shipping costs can be quite high for some people. But
yeah,
it's I'm glad it's back.
I had to do the same thing as the Wizard of Oz is backstage. Eric, who you met. We had the same problem, which is why I wound up having to get rid of my digital store wars. It just got to be too expensive to ship things. I'm trying to give people a good product at a good price, but the price to ship it was, depending on where it's going, had just gotten ridiculous. It used to be to ship things by bulk mail, but they've even kind of shut that down now.
Well, yeah, like this is my newest album. Somebody this morning from Switzerland wants a copy. So the album, I think I'm selling it for like $15 and the shipping's $19. So, yeah. And they're paying for it. So, I mean, I'll ship it, but
Well, see, at the time I was paying it. I mean, I wouldn't even putting that price in the shipping price into the package. It just got to a point where it's like, okay, it's easier for you guys to get that, especially the last two albums, which I don't really own. I sing the heck out of them, but they're owned by the prospective record companies, 40 Below Records and Blind Faith Records. So for expediency for people in the cheaper way, I told them it's cheaper for you just to go and get it on Amazon or go directly to the record company, because it got to a point where it's like, man, I'm gonna have to charge you. I gotta charge you the shipping costs, and shipping costs is more than what the album is. You have
to do it. It's the music business, brother. You have to do it. So,
but I said that I started all that to say the reason why I was asking about that vinyl is I heard yesterday I was reading, and they said one of the music journals I keep up with, big name, I won't call their name here, but they're connected to the business. They said during the pandemic, sales of cassette tapes tripled. What they had been 30 years, cassette tapes.
Wow.
Cassettes.
Wow. What's the next 8-track?
What's happening is all these young cats that have been into hip hop for so long, they're now in their late 30s, mid 40s, and hip hop has changed so much, like it did for me, and they're starting to go out and find alternative music. So they're starting to find blues, jazz, rock, and soul, and so they're like, whoa, there's stuff that you can't get digitally. You can try to get it digitally, but what's happening is the new generation, that 40-some crowd to late 30-some crowd, they've discovered album artwork. Not just the DJs, but the actual people in the audience are starting to understand, it wasn't just the album. A lot of people bought albums. No. The artwork alone was just, I used to love Maze's artwork, which was simple, but, I love that 5-6 finger hand they used to put up with the maze in it. Earth, Wind, and Fire with the pyramids and all this stuff. And
come on, you cannot forget the Ohio Players. I bought the album just for the picture, but the music was always great. But Candy, come on, Fire and all that. I mean, I was a teenage boy. What do you expect? Shit, I'll buy it right now if it came out. So
that was like that. It reminded me. That's what reminded me when I heard that. Anderson .Paak Bruno Mars cut that will leave the door open. Yeah. And for the young people, it makes you sound old. For young people, they're like, oh man, that sounds so good. That sounds so new. And you and I was listening to it, and we were just like, oh man, okay, there's a little shot lights in there. Oh, Earth, Wind, and Fire. He got some higher players. They just taking stuff that we did, even the clothes they're wearing. They're wearing flyaway collars. And I'm like,
it's all retro, brother.
Was doing that. It's all retro now.
It's coming back
to that 20, 30, 40-year-old crowd. It's new to them.
That's beautiful. That means we'll stay fresh to them as well. Let them discover us as well. So it's good. It's a good thing.
Yeah, and I don't know about you, but that's been my my thing is, it's been a lot of people out in what they call other genres, Americana or blah blah. They've been discovering my blues and soul. So that leads me to you with the rock thing. The rock and blues, because you're a great blues man, but you're a rock and blues man, and I love that. I have your crowds. How has it been as far as like age wise and all this stuff when you play it? Like, I don't know. Give me two scenarios. How is it when you play it in the States, and how is it when you play overseas?
When I play in the States, the crowd does vary, because if you play a festival, if you're playing a club. I like traveling, just like you. I like being on the road. So I love when I go in certain towns, it's still anywhere from 30 to old enough to walk in with a walker. People come in. The music is so, it covers many generations of what we do. And the blues rock to me is the way I learned the blues was from from the rockers, from people, a lot of British cast that came over, and from the Stones to Faces, all those bands, and then of course the bands here in the States that were doing it as well. Canned Heat and all the great bands that were playing. They crossed that line of blues and rock all the time. So, to me, Led Zeppelin, Hendrix, Santana, it all just started to mesh and gel together. But far as overseas, to me, it's it could be anything. I've seen kids as young as 18 come into the club, and same thing with the older crowd as well. So it's just like I said, our music crosses a lot of boundaries, and that's what I think continues to bring people together, and that's why I miss it so much. We need it right now. So it's a big band-aid this country needs right now, is live music right now. It really is, between sports and live music. But I think even more so with the music, because if you like something, it doesn't matter. It really doesn't matter.
And music really seems to bridge the soul, especially even if you can't be with people, it just has that galvanizing effect. One of the interviews I did, and somebody was asking me about they were asking about the civil rights movement, music wise, coming from that aspect, or that side, or that look. And I told them, any movement is strong. I said, but when you add music to it, it become a feverish pitch that it excites, it can calm, it can agitate, it can
absolutely.
So adding music to it always good. That's why they add music to movies. Otherwise, just be people sitting there talking.
Well, it's emotion. It's emotion. It's true emotion. You can be a blind man in the crowd and still understand the music. You can be somebody that doesn't speak the language, and you can understand the music. And like you said, with the civil rights, when James Brown came to calm the city down after Dr. King was murdered, that city would have been in flames. But James Brown kept everything together. He gave a concert. I think it was even free, and it brought the people down and calmed everyone down. And that's power. And you can have a band that's all about hellfire and brimstone that can make you burn a city down. So you're right. It's really about the emotions and how the music affects everyone. And right now I think it's it's so. I mean, as a musician like you, I want to be out there because I need that. I need that feedback from the crowd. I need that contact, and it's like it's a relationship to me. I'm missing. I feel like I'm missing a part of me at the same time. But of course, I eat every day, and I'm more fortunate than some people out there. But I feel I still need to. My biggest thing is I want to give. I like giving what I have, because I see what it does to some people that really, really need to have it. I mean, I've had stories like you, I'm sure, when I've had people come from funerals and just said, your music is what made me feel good tonight. I just lost my mom or my dad. And there's no better reward, better than any paycheck I've ever had. That to me is the best reward I've ever gotten in my life, to know that I made someone's day, made them happy, made them just feel something special. And it's nothing more powerful than that to me. Nothing at all.
Right on, brother. Right on. That's very well said. Very well spoken, young man.
Oh, thank you, my brother.
Yeah, brother. Yeah, brother. At least you didn't show up with shower cap, and flip flops. They always try to find that, brother.
Who influenced my guitar? That's that what I see across the screen?
They want to know Nicole Mullen. I think she's out in Spain. I could be wrong, but she wants to know who influenced you on guitar, Dennis.
Well, there's a lot of people, but I'll make the story short. As a teenager, when I first started playing, I was 13, and I guess my neighbors got tired of hearing me try to play guitar, so she brought Electric Ladyland, Jimi Hendrix album, and it was a rainy day. It was like, I remember the day like it was yesterday. And she handed me this album. It was all worn out. You could see the circle from the album on the outside. And I put it on, and it changed my life. I've never heard anything like that before or since. It was a groundbreaking album, and Hendrix he was a part of what influenced me. But after him, it was everybody. ZZ Top, Muddy Waters, Slim Harpo. I mean, I really got into guitar players. I never wanted to be in a band where a lot of bands where the lead singer, like you, is up front and the band's way in the back. I never wanted to be in a band like that.
Yeah.
I wanted to be in a band where my toes were in the front of the stage, and I saw Hendrix and all Santana and those guys. It was like that's where I wanted to be. I wanted to be in front of the stage, not in the back.
Right on. No, I can dig it, brother.
Right next to you. Right next to you.
Hey, no, see, it's different for me. You know, the funny thing about me is, you know, I was always the choir director or, you know, an elder or something like that, you know, even with Tony working with the choirs. And a few times I would get out and sing, but, you know, I worked in the church. And we talk about the old black church. I ain't talking about Baptist. I'm not talking about just Pentecostal. I'm talking about Church of God in Christ. And I made my way all the way up to the national church and all that stuff, and blah, 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 blah. So, you know, I said that to say because we had singers that was just out of this world. So, you know, like we had that old saying, don't step up if you can't keep up. So,
That's
you know,
right.
I was directing the choir and singing in the choir. Mm-hmm. But, you know, so when I came back to music, when Pam pushed me back into music, I started my cover band, top 40 band, the Urban Gypsies. Mm-hmm. And Michael Mose came up with the name and whatnot. But I know when they came up with the idea, let's put the band together. I was bouncing on Wednesday nights, which was the tryout night for bands. And I saw a few different cats come through with different bands. And I was like, man, if I put them together, you know, we have a good band, you know. And since Pam was pushing me back into it. But I never came back into this wanting to be the band leader. I just wanted to get together and sing with people. You know, it's just that even with the Urban Gypsies, I wound up having to leave my own band because of that reason. Because once I wound up stepping into that role and wanted to rehearse, and I found out these guys didn't want to rehearse. They were all big name guys, been there, done that. And they were fine with just playing covers and playing the belly up and some of the big joints in San Diego. Right. But I wanted more than that. So then I joined Unkissie's Boys. And that was all by accident. Well, that was Pam. Yeah, is that what we met? Well, yeah, Pam made me go at the festival. That's right.
Yes, yeah. That's right. Julian Festivals where you were right. That's where we actually
Is that where we met?
That's I'm pretty sure. Unless we met at the that club used to do it in the Valley, used to come out there once in a while and sing that. It's closed now. Cozy's. It was either Cozy's.
Yeah, no, I met you before I met you in LA. I met you down in that was Julian that we must have met because I met you later. The second time I met you was actually in LA on the street. We were walking. You was at work. You saw me walk by. You come out like Sugar.
Yeah, right.
I was like, hey, man. Yeah.
That's right. In Culver City. Yeah. I think it was the storage area, I think, something like that.
Something like that.
Yeah.
No, it was you know, Julian, man, that was like only my second gig with that band. Really? And I remember being freaked out because there was a lot of black people. And the band was like, well, what's wrong with you? I said, man, we about to go up and do the blues, sing blues and stuff. And I've been doing funk, soul, R&B, and gospel. I don't know, I've learned some songs. And everybody like, how you'll be all right. And that Julian Festival. And it was some big name cats there. We played on one little side stages, but it was cool.
It was nice.
It was really nice. And the people came up, brothers and sisters came up, like, dug it and was telling me, encouraging me. And I'm like, okay, because you know our people. Let's just put it out there. Our people would just come up and tell you.
Right. Yeah, it's no middle ground. It's either they like you or they don't. So it's okay.
They either like you or they don't. And they will let you know. There's no like, did they like it? Oh, you know.
Well, actually, New Yorkers are like that too, white or black. New Yorkers will tell you too. They don't care.
Oh, really?
Oh yeah. You play in New York. You play in New York. If they don't like you, then trust me, it's just like our people, and it doesn't matter who they are. They will let you know, boo or yay.
Wow. Hey. All right. I mean, I've been lucky. I played New York a few times.
You can't make it in New York. You can't make it anywhere. New York. If you can make it in New York, you're good. Trust me.
Okay. All right. I've been to New York a few times and played, and all around New York and in New York City, and I've been good. No one booed me. People showed up.
There you go.
It's not bad, man.
You did good. You made the cut.
I'm glad I didn't know that because I just came up. It was me, Levi Collins said, Dennis, please play at the Adams Avenue Street Fair once it's going again. When it gets,
I'd love to. I tried to get back there, and I had a hard time, but maybe I'll keep trying. Definitely, I'd love to play there. I had a great time there.
Well, Dennis, I want to play a song by you because
okay.
I'm gonna move me off the screen. I'll still be able to hear you.
Okay,
you won't be able to hear me.
All right.
And what I want you to do is when I take me off, I'm gonna put up one of your videos. I want you to set it up for me. How about that?
Okay.
Here we go.
Oh, it's a song called "Blue Over You." This is a song a lot of people have requested over the years, and it's a fan favorite. So I decided to do a video on it. Uh, Lovely lady in it, good friend of mine, and we just put it together and shot it in one day. And I hope you like it.
You call me when you're lonely every other night. We talk and laugh for a while, and then we start to fight. You used to be my lover, you used to be my friend. Now you're just a story that never seems to end. I'm so blue, blue over you. Same old feeling, it ain't nothing new. Well, I'm so blue, blue over you. Can't help myself, don't know what to do. You walk into my dreams, we make love inside my head. I wake up every morning without you in my bed. I found another lover, but what am I to do? I can't give her what she wants.
Yes, I'd love to come to the UK. Absolutely.
Blue over you. Same old feeling, it ain't nothing new. Well, I'm so blue, blue over you. Can't help myself, don't know what to do.
Thank you. Thank you.
My angel, always by my side. Now you're just a girl that took me for a ride. How can I be happy? How can I be sad? I'm just thankful for the love and all the good times that we had. But I'm still blue, blue over you. Same old feeling, it ain't nothing new. Well, I'm still blue, blue over you. Can't help myself, don't know what to do. Well, I'm still blue, blue over you. Same old feeling, it ain't nothing new, it ain't nothing new. Well, I'm still blue, blue over you. Can't help myself, don't know what to do.
Right on, my brother. Look at you, your bad self.
Thank you, thank you, thank you.
Because I already knew that, you know what I'm saying? You know, I got the inside scoop.
All right.
I've known this cat since I started, pretty much, probably a few years after I started getting back into music, I met you at that Julia thing. Because,
yeah.
like I said, that was literally, I had given up on music again. I quit my own band, the Urban Gypsies. I had my avocado ranch out in Fallbrook. And Pam made me go to that. There used to be a club in Temecula. Can't think of the name of it. But they used to have a jam. And Pam made me go to that jam. And that's where I met Dwayne. And then Dwayne invited me to this other jam the next week. And that's where I met Jimmy. And then probably a week after that, I was singing with them in Julian. So I wasn't even really a band member yet when I met you in Julian. But,
That's
you know,
right. Well,
that's where things work.
You killed it. A lot of people want to know where to get my stuff. You can go to CD Baby, or you can go to DennisJonesCentral.com. Again, DennisJonesCentral.com. And what I'll do is I'll give you a copy of my CDs.
Wait a minute, Dennis. Slow that down for me. I want to get Eric, because Eric typed 200 words a minute. Eric, can you put that up there?
You ready? Let me know you're ready.
He already got it. There we go. He's bad, man. He's a bad Bama Jamma.
So there's you go.
One. And here's the other one. All
right. DennisJonesCentral.com. And you can also get it at CD Baby. Dennis Jones. CD Baby.
I'm going to put those up one more time, y'all. Copy that down. Go ahead, keep talking, Dennis. I want to put these up on screen.
Yeah. And if you get it from me, from Dennis Jones Central, what I'll do, I'll sign it for you. And you also get some guitar picks and stuff in there too inside. So it'll be more personal if you get it from me. It's up to you. It's up to you how you want to get it.
One more time, y'all. I'm going to put those credentials up there so you can go and copy and paste. Eric Sassaman, thank you so much. He never realized he was going to wind up being my producer, but he the producer, baby. He with me on every show. God knows we have some weird stuff happening, especially with Facebook, but there we go.
All right,
One more time.
Thank you, Eric. All right.
And so then let me ask you, man, again, the question of the day today is the people around you, do they fill your bucket or do they empty your bucket? And let me ask you, what do you do, if I may ask, it might be too personal, what do you do when you find you have someone that's emptying your bucket, not filling your life bucket?
Well, when I was younger, I let a lot of those kind of people in because I felt that I don't mind helping people. My nature is to want to help people, but some people want to move in and never move out. They don't even want to pay rent. They just want to come in your life and they want to just take a space, and they take your kindness for a weakness. So as I got older, I got a little harder. I got a little better at judging who's good for me and who's bad for me. And first of all, I got a great woman in my life that I love, that supports me 100%. And I don't care if it's a woman or a man, gay, straight, I don't care what your life is. If you got that kind of support from love in your life, it makes a big difference, because they're not going to lie to you. They're not going to tell you something to make you feel good. But at the same time, when you're doing something really good, they're going to let you know that's what you need to be doing. And I tell you, that has made my life just so much better. And the fact that I don't allow stress in my life. The things that I can't control, I let go. The things I can control, I work on to try to make them better. And I don't do drama. If you bring drama to my life, I will shut you down real quick. I don't do drama at all. It's like, I don't have time for it. I meditate every day. I take 15 minutes to meditate. I do, like
I've been trying to shut up and let you finish, but it was getting to me. But the meditation thing,
it works for me. It really works for me.
Well, it does for me. But I learned I'm better, believe it or not, when I'm driving, and I think because I drive all the time. So I really, even though I'm paying attention to what I'm doing, it's the one time of the day where it's just me and my truck. And it's because meditation, people think that it's just all about the yoga, blah, blah. Meditation is anytime you can get somewhere where you're comfortable and you feel safe and you can collect your thoughts. It's a big, big deal. I don't think people realize how big it is.
To me, it's the most purest form of prayer there is, because it's a direct line with whatever your maker is, whatever your God is, whatever. It's not about, to me, it's just a pure thing. It's a pure connection with the universe and God. Whatever your God might be, whatever your religion might be, it doesn't matter. It's all about that connection, because we're all from that same source. I'm not going to preach about it, but that's what I believe, that what makes my life good. And, you know, sometimes I'll think about something that happened to me 10 years ago that makes me angry. I'm like, why? Why am I thinking about that? You look at your life as an hourglass, okay? This sand at the bottom is the sand that's gone. You can't do anything about it. The sand at the top, that's what you can control. And I have more runway behind me than in front of me. So I want to make the best of the days I have here, surround myself with really good people like yourself, like a lot of people in this community, the music community we're in. And that's it. I don't need a lot of friends to tell me, oh, you're great, or I don't need that. I don't need that at all. I just do what I do and feel good about it. Like I said, I write songs that make me happy, and I know my crowd, I know my audience. So if I like it, most of them are going to like it too. And they do. They tell me that all the time. So that's where I'm coming from, man. A peaceful place inside. A lot of people look for the outside to find happiness. It's right here inside you, man. It really is. If you dig in there, it's in you already.
Well, you know, it takes a lot of people. I did a show sometime back here on this program, and my question was for those people was, when was it that you had the epiphany of me?
Mm-hmm.
You know, and it sounds all new wave, but you know, I remember having the epiphany, and I can remember I was walking through my avocados, checking the trees with my dogs, and I had the epiphany. And it's not a braggadocious thing; it's just it's light that opened up. I had the epiphany that I was the best Sugar Ray Rayford there is. So that was when I stopped doing a lot of cover stuff, R&B and all this, when it started to transition, because I realized, like, you know, I got something to say, and I've had a crazy, wild life. I mean, you think I'm 90 years old with the stuff that I've been through and the jobs that I've had, you know.
Yeah,
and people
well.
He cannot have had that job, you know. But, you know, for years, I worked 3 jobs a day. I had 3 jobs. I did that for years when I got out of the military. And, you know, sometimes jobs leave and go. I would go get another job because it was, I'm a Southern man. That's just the way I was raised. Like, you know, if you got time to breathe and do other things, you got time to work. It wasn't until I got with Pam and she channeled that energy. She was like, you know, you're going to kill yourself in the early grade working these menial jobs. You know, you're so good at music, your whole soul light up. Why don't you go do that? And I did it with the Urban Gypsies, but it was, I was with Aunt Kizzy's, like I said, when I finally had the epiphany that I am the best me there is. So
that's what it's about. That's what it's about. Yeah, that's why I've always written, even when I was in bands as a kid. I actually quit one band and rejoined because they refused to do more original music. I've always been that way. And my first album, 2003, I think, from Falling Up, it's all original music. I do a couple covers here and there, but I flip them. You know, I don't want to. Nobody's going to do Muddy Waters better than Muddy Waters. Nobody's going to do Hendrix better than Hendrix. So it's like, if you're going to do a song, I feel you need to change it to make it who you are. But you're also giving the artist, you know, respect, because, you know, that's what you're doing. You're doing his music or her music, and that's what it's about. So
you can be a good copy, original copy of yourself, or a bad copy of someone else.
Yeah, that's the way I feel about it as well.
There's only one B.B. King. There's only one Howlin' Wolf, you know. So I said to myself, and you probably had that too. You know, I wanted to reach that status one day, but I'm gonna reach it as Sugar Ray Rayford.
There you go, and you're doing it in your own time, man, in your own way, and that's what it's about. You know, I love your stuff. I love what you're doing, man. It's great.
You know, you and I run into each other all over the world, or listen. I'm one day behind you, or you one day in front of me. I walk in and there's your name on the marquee. Like, he was here yesterday. They was here yesterday. You know, like,
I missed you in Switzerland by one day, man.
Did you?
Yeah, I called you actually.
I missed you in Germany by one day. It's that club that's under the McDonald's.
Yeah.
They got on the building. What's the name of that place?
Yeah. Don't get me lying.
I played it twice, and both times your name was on the marquee. One time you were there a day before me. One time you was coming in a couple of days after.
Right. I remember that. Yeah, brother. I remember that.
Yeah, look, Big Lou.
Big Lou. Call him Little Lou now.
Yeah, but he's talking smack.
He's skinny as me.
Never.
A bald-headed black blues singer say online. That's
you know, Big Lou and I family now. I guess it's all right for me to say that my brother, my youngest brother, married his daughter.
Really? I didn't know that.
Yeah, just a few months ago. So they all married up. So
Yeah,
Lou and I, not only we kinfolk, we kinfolk.
There you go. That's a good thing. That's a good thing, bro. That's nice.
Right on. I want to play one more video from you. Is that all right?
That's absolutely fine, brother.
We're gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna pull me off the screen and I'm put it up. You said
okay. Like Sheep. This is a song I wrote before COVID, before Black Lives Matter. It's just about us people not believing everything we see, hear, and read. I'm one of them. I was part of that as well, and I'm hoping my head is clearer now, where I can listen to people from both sides of the aisle and make up my own mind. You know, I have a lot of Republican views, a lot of Democratic views. And I'm not really fond of any politician because I know what they do to get there. This song, Like Sheep, is about us, how we react to these things. So there you go. Hello.
Shit's getting deep.
Thanks, Colin.
People walk around sleep. No need to creep. They just laugh in our face. Have we reached a peak? Our future's looking bleak. How did we get so weak? Like sheep. Different line, different station. Why is everybody half asleep? You keep doing what you're told. Like sheep. Like sheep. Is anybody home? Please pick up the phone. We're gonna burn like Rome while they laugh in our face. We ignore the past. Mother Nature's kicking ass.
Yeah, it is,
we'll all be eating grass like sheep. Is your brain on vacation?
Thank you, Christina.
Why is everybody half asleep? You just do what you're told. Like sheep. Like sheep. Are we the people or are we the sheep? Which one is it? Deceive, tell you what to believe, watch you grieve while they laugh in your face. Church bells ring, all hail to the king. Your life don't mean a thing, like sheep.
Thank you. Thank you.
right on, brother. I like that. Like sheep. I'm gonna use that. I use that in the past. Yeah, that's what's happened. We become sheep, baby.
Yes, we have. We
Graze
have.
on whatever pasture they put us on. Then once they feel that one's done, they move us over to the next one so the grass and crap can grow again on that one, man. Rotating crops.
Long as we're fighting with each other, they get away with whatever they want to get away with.
Yeah, baby.
Thanks,
I like
Frederick.
that a lot.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
All right. Let me talk a little bit about your band. You're traditionally a three-piece. Do you go up 4 or 5 sometimes, or you just always 3? Is that your thing?
I like trios. I've always liked power trios. Ever since I saw, of course, Hendrix, and Rory Gallagher's a big influence as well. I saw him live back in 1979 when I lived in Germany. He was with a band called Taste, and he went solo. Then, of course, you got Cream, and I don't care if it's Rush. I mean, I just been like in the ZZ Top. I just been in the power trios my whole life. I just love what 3 people can bring to the table. And I have nothing against playing with keyboard players and stuff like that. But it's part because I love it. And second, because the economics of touring nowadays, touring with a big band for me is almost impossible. It just costs so much money. So,
I usually come with a big band, but even myself this year, or whenever we come back out, I'll probably start small. I'll probably start with just a 5-piece and bring the horns in for some of the bigger shows, just because economically it's going to be that way for a little bit. So,
but I do have a great band. I need to mention my band. Raymond Johnson's been on drums with me now for about 7 years. Just an incredible drummer. Just down the home, really good cat. And Cornelius Mims has been with me for about 2 years now. He's a bass player. He was with he's just won his 3rd Grammy with
Fantastic Negrito.
Thank you for waking me up. But yes, he's worked with him. So he plays bass for me right now, and we're just waiting to get back out there, man. Just waiting to play again and for things to open up. But like I said, even with the new album out, I've been writing. I got some new songs. I just can't wait to show them and get back out. Some fresh stuff to play again with me is. I can't wait. I'm just like a horse in the starting gate. Ready for the race. I'm biting on the bit, man. I really am.
Eric just finished mixing our new album, and is getting ready to go get mastered right now. And so last night, I got it last night. The final mix, and man, I was sitting here at 3:00 in the morning and hoping the neighbors didn't call the police. And I was just jamming, man. I'm so excited for everybody to hear my new album.
Isn't that fun though? When you first when the album's done and nobody's heard it, but you just sit there and just like it's like you want you're excited like a kid at Christmas time. Remember that feeling? Remember my feeling as a kid at Christmas? Oh man, it's like
butterflies in your stomach.
You just want everybody. You want everybody to hear it. So I'm proud of you, man. I can't wait to hear it myself. Can't wait to hear it.
I think he's gonna release it in January, but
good.
I'm excited, man, because
that's good.
Somebody Saved Me was a great album. Like I said, Grammy nom brought me a lot of accolades. But I believe that this album is even better. But it's always that way, I guess. This time Eric has known me for a while, and I co-wrote on this one, and it's
I feel I still haven't written my best stuff yet. I really do.
No.
I don't think I've written my best music yet, and I have seven albums out. So
that's what it happens too, because my first 2 albums as a solo, first 3, I wrote some original tracks on Blind Alley. I had a lot more tracks, but it just worked out the way it did. My first album, and then got with the Managed Boys, and then we did. I did a few albums with them, and then we did Dangerous, and then I did on my own label, Nimoy Sue label, Southside, and I wrote all those tracks, and I'm still writing in my journal, write things down. With Eric, Eric writes these songs, and he takes my ideas, or he comes up with an idea, and we hashtag and fight over it for a year or so, and come up with material. Eric Korn, for y'all that don't know 40 Below Records, and it was a big deal for me to trust somebody. I've been writing with Ralph Carter, who was my MD. Ralph used to be with Eddie Money. He wrote Shakin' and all that stuff for Eddie.
Right.
And Ralph has been with me since the beginning, and I've been writing with Ralph since I started getting serious about the blues world. And so, you know, it's hard to go into a situation now where Eric is writing the songs. And I told him, I said, you know, man, listen, I'm one of those people. I'm not a pretty singer. I got to believe what I'm singing.
Yeah. Yes.
And so,
yes.
And that was hard
Absolutely.
when you got someone else trying to write for you, but you know, they throw a lot of themselves in there. And I'm like, you know, it's going to be hard for me to emote this because it's not me. So this album, but as a professional, and I'm under contract, I'm gonna do what I can do, and I'm gonna make it the best that I can make it. But I really like this new album. I really dig it. This new album.
I can't wait to hear it, man. Like I said, I've had Blue Rock Records as my record label. I started it in '97, and I put out all my own material. And my goal one day is to put out other artists on my label. It's a legit label, everything, even my publishing company, Leroy's Boys Music, is because my dad's name is Leroy and I'm Leroy's boy. So country people like you know what I'm talking about, right?
Oh yeah.
I'm Leroy's boy. That's my music. It's my publishing company, and you know, I just you know, I want to continue putting stuff out of my own label. If something, you know, I've had a couple offers over the years, and when they make sense to sign with somebody, I will. Until it makes sense, I mean, I don't need a bank. I need somebody that's going to really do something for me and push me to that next level. And if I get that opportunity, I'm going to take it, of course. But right now, I don't mind having full control of everything I have. And, you know, when I sell an album, I get 100% of it because I put 100% into it. So, but I don't mind sharing if it's going to mean that my career is going to be to that next level. So, you know, it's the music business, brother. It's the music business.
And that's big. You and I talked about that. You know, a lot of young cats don't get that. You know, I have Nemours Sue, and I put out 2 albums under Nemours Sue, and I'm writing. You know, I got a deal with Eric, and it has been great.
That's good.
But you know, both of the deals that I've signed have pushed my career further.
And that's what I'm talking about.
When I signed with Delta Groove, I mean, I was independent, so and was already playing 200 shows a year with the Managed Boys. But when I signed with Delta Groove, with the Managed Boys, that pushed me to another level.
Absolutely.
You know, and then I went on and I did Southside, and that was really good. We were touring like crazy. Pam has been my manager, my tour agent, my flight agent, you know, I'm holding the tour manager / MD, every job you think with a 7-piece band.
Right.
And when I signed with Blind Faith, you know, it was like, well, you know, we want to. At the time, I remember them coming to me and they were saying they came to Pam. I came home from a long tour. I landed. Pam let me have like 48 hours at home, and then she was like, you know, this weekend you got to fly to Italy. I'm like, for what? Like, well, these guys got this great album. I've heard some of it, and they wrote these songs for you, and they want you to come in and sing. And I'm like, what? I didn't know anything about it. Next thing I know, I'm on a plane to Italy, and I'm standing in this unbelievable studio in Rome, and these guys literally like 30 hours later, I'm standing in the studio in Rome, and they start playing these songs, and I'm just like, oh my God! And the guy's like, yeah, man, I've been following you for 2 years.
Oh.
I said, you never came up and said anything. He said, I've been to so many of your concerts in Europe. He's like, and we wrote these songs for you. And, you know, the album was huge in Europe. I mean, 3 different Rolling Stone write-ups and all that. What wound up happening is it came to the States. They wanted me to leave my band to join their band and for them to back me with all the shows. And I told them, I said, that's not the deal, man. I said, you know, my guys have been with me since the second show.
Loyalty, brother.
You know, I'm not going to leave them. They backed me up when there was no money. They played shows where, you know, they traveled literally in a van from California to New York to make $100, you know. But, you know, luckily I was financially able to do it because you got to do those things to make a name. So when I came time to, I remember meeting Eric. I've told the story. I had landed back in Memphis. I'd flown back, had been on tour for 3 months, didn't go home, flew right to Memphis for I want to say it was the IBC. And I had just signed with Rick Booth and those guys, Intrepid Artists, as my booking agency. They were doing, you know, we were getting ready to start some serious touring with those guys. And I'm standing on the corner of the Orpheum Theater, me and Pam, and I'm dressed to the nines. I'm supposed to go in because my buddy Del Toro Richardson had invited me down to come in on this set at the Orpheum because I'd never played at the Orpheum. I was like, all right, even though I was exhausted.
Right.
And Rick Booth saw me outside. He came up and and Eric Cohen was with them, man. And a few days later, we was in LA. We was talking about it, and I said, man, the thing is, I want to get into this scene. That's it, because Sharon Jones, Charles Bradley, Lee Fields was all that was doing it. Now you got Bruno Mars and that kind of stuff. No one's doing this old soul thing, really. And Amy Winehouse kind of opened it back up, after Jill Scott and those guys, Jill Scott for R&B and spoken word. But the Erykah Badu's, the Raphael Sadiq's,
you have an audience. There's a big audience for that. You're filling a void. You're filling a void right now. That's big. It's a big void in that field of music.
But it's both blues. It's both blues and soul. Sure. Same thing with you. You're filling this huge void right now.
Yeah.
There is no rock blues. There's no. I mean, you have Walter Trout and a few, but nobody's Eric Gales. But nobody's really. So it's cool to see cats like you guys stepping into that void also. And what's really, 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 really cool is the blues community and the blues fans are going on the ride and not trying to pull you down. That's really cool.
Most of them understand it. A lot. And some you want to stay in 1950, and I understand that's where they want to be. They want to drive the same car. They want to dress the same. That's their thing, and I have nothing against it. But I just like people that have a more open mind about music. My albums are very eclectic. I love the blues. And actually, some people think some of the songs are not blues, but the lyrics are, if not the music, the lyrics are definitely blues. That's where everything that I write comes from. That's the soul of everything I write from. So if it sounds rock, if it sounds reggae, it doesn't matter, because if you trace the roots of reggae, it's going to take you right back to the swing blues. It's going to take you right back to blues. And you got to know your history. A lot of people, including Black folks, we don't know our history of our music.
I was shocked.
I used to get accused of playing, and I'm going to say it the way they told me, white boys music. I'm like, you never heard of Chuck Berry. You've never heard of Little Richard. You need to do some research. You need to go back and understand that this music is not. It's actually our music, but it's been done by many people. And I think the more people do it, the better. I think you can keep it alive. Keep it alive. I don't care if you're Asian. I don't care if you're white. Play the blues. I love it. Play rock and roll. It's for everyone. But don't forget, where it came from. I had to go learn myself as a Black kid when I was playing Rolling Stones songs that I'm actually playing the blues. I'm playing Muddy Waters song. The Rolling Stone. That's where the name of the band came from Muddy. So, there's nothing wrong with being ignorant of something, because you can learn. Being stupid of it, or that's a whole other thing. Don't open your mouth until you really do a little research and find out, the origins of what you're talking about. Because I'm proud that I play rock and roll, that I play blues, that I write music that comes from my soul. I'm very proud of that. Whether if I sell 1 million copies or 1,000, of course I want to sell 1 million. But if I don't, I'm true to myself. Every morning I wake up, I know who I am. I'm not trying to be or act like someone else. I'm just doing, like you said, the best Dennis Jones I can do, and you're doing the best Sugar Ray you can do. So that's important.
It reminds me, I had met Belushi, the young brother. Jim, is it Jim?
Jim.
I met Jim Belushi, and he and I was talking, and it was almost like he was trying to quiz me. So he started talking about Dust My Broom. And he said, well, is he saying dust my broom, or is he saying dust my room? What does that mean? And I said, well, I'm from down south. I said, but you get different interpretations depending on what part of the South you're from. I say, but for us, I'm getting up soon in the morning, and I believe I dust my broom. Now, what he's saying is that he's leaving. You dust your broom, because even if you were staying at the house, dust your broom, and you swept out that room up, you cleaned it up. You didn't have a maid. You cleaned that room up. You made up your pallet. Then that meant you were leaving. So you dust your broom. Just like I was telling some young cat.
How many people know what a pallet is? Most people don't even know that.
Well, let's ask that question. Go ahead, ask that question. Let's get right now.
What's a pallet? Does anybody out there know what a pallet is?
Guys, got any question for Dennis Jones? Does anybody know what a pallet is? I think anybody down south, probably almost anywhere, but especially down south.
You got to be of a certain age. You got to be of a certain age, or really know. No freaking idea.
Eric says. We're gonna Eric, before we give the answer, we're gonna let a few more people chime in on it. How many people know what a palate is? Somebody, Barbara Ryan said taste. And she's a blues head. Right on. It's no different than I was telling somebody about my biscuits.
That was close. That was close.
He was looking at my shoes and says, "You mean your shoes, your biscuit?" I said, "Yeah, but do you know why black people started calling shoes biscuits?" And he was like, "No, I never knew this." And this is a guy that was supposedly really into. I said, because you see, some of this stuff is cultural that, even though you heard it, unless you had friends who grew up around that were black, you didn't understand what it meant. Right. And we call them biscuits because when we didn't do shoe shine and all that, you take a greasy biscuit off the stove and shine your shoes. And so that's why brothers call shoes, old school brothers call them biscuits. Like, I got to give them biscuits because we do the hot biscuit with that lard grease on it to shine your shoes. That's and I've actually done that before going to church, shining my Stacey Adams, baby.
Hey, I've used some Crisco once or twice.
Hey, baby.
I see some answers down there. Okay. Well, bed is yes. The bed is kind of what a pallet is.
Yeah, that's close.
It's close. It's very close. It's not a comfortable bed though.
All right. We got enough few people. Let's tell them what a pallet is.
Okay. That's basically just it. Originally was, I think, straw and just like a piece of cloth that you lay on in the corner. It was basically in slave shacks or migrant shacks, but it's just something that you use to sleep instead of sleeping on the bare floor. But that's good too. I like that, David.
So y'all, what happens is, like, when you used to go visit your cousins or go visit folks, with black folks, especially the East Texas, we get together. Sometimes it'd be 15, 20 people at that house. Not enough beds for that. So your grandma would make a pallet. So she throw a quilt, a pillow, or something down on the ground for you to sleep on. So that's what it was. When it's a bed, but it's not a bed. It's usually like a blanket.
Like I said, it's better than sleeping on dirt or sleeping on a bare floor. That's all.
And I'm gonna see how old you are, Dennis. I mean, where you from originally?
Baltimore County, northern Baltimore, not Camden Yard, not the city. I'm from Baltimore County, northern Baltimore County, horse country. That's where I'm from.
Right on.
I'm closer to the Pennsylvania line than I am from the downtown.
Down south, they used to have this thing. Now, this is before my time, but again, Texas, at this time, you guys remember this before the internet was big, so everything was still new and old, still being used. We used to have this thing called sleeping online. And anybody know about sleeping online? I want to ask y'all that question. Sleeping online. And you're going to think it's outrageous, but it is true. All right. So you was black, you had been working, you're trying to find a place. So for $8-9, we're thinking like $8, you can sleep on a pallet. Like they make a pallet at the hotels for you. You didn't get a room, but you get a pallet. If you didn't have that for like $2 or $3, you can come in and sleep online. They will let you put a rope across the room, and you can sleep on the rope, like hang on the rope and sleep on the rope. and it's funny as that sounds, and that's called sleeping online. Damn. I had to get some of you people, y'all, because South was something else,
Oh yeah.
South was something, even Juneteenth, which I'm glad Juneteenth is being celebrated all over the country now, but most people really don't know what Juneteenth is about. And it's not June 10th, it's not June 16th, because they didn't know what day it was. So we just made up a word like black folks always do. We call it Juneteenth. Not June 10th, Juneteenth. It's called Juneteenth because you didn't know. And what that date signifies is the date that the Union captain came down and told the slaves in Texas that had been slaves and been lied to for 2 more years after the Civil War. Texas had lied to the slaves. Actually, sometimes they didn't lie. They just didn't tell them that they were free.
Right.
And so black folks are not sure because it was by word of mouth back then. We're not sure if that came to pass on June 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. It's in that week. So we call it Juneteenth. And that's what the Juneteenth celebration is. It's a Texas thing, which is now gone nationwide. And it's a celebrate finally being told 2 years after the Civil War that black folks were now free.
Yeah. Well, don't get me started with none of that because I know I'm a history buff. That's good though. That's good. You're right though. You're right. But
just educate a little bit today. I don't usually get this deep.
And there's a lot of things that are very suspicious and can be called on. But anyway, let's stay with the music, brother.
Well, that is the music. A lot of that stuff come out of that, man. You know,
You're right.
I played last week when I was Johnny Rawls was going to be my guest, and he couldn't be on. And luckily, Drake was here visiting me for the first time in a year. And I played a bunch of stuff from the old Texas blues, man. You know, I played some Lightning Hopkins. I played some Blind Lemon.
Oh man,
I'm talking about the old stuff, man.
I love some
T-Bone Walker,
Magic Sam.
You know, yeah, I didn't get to play Magic Sam, but I was trying to get in there, man. I want to do that. Some Bugs Henderson.
What a great player, man.
Sam Myers and all that stuff, you know, and you know, because everybody knows Freddie King, everybody knows Albert Collins, but I don't think a lot of them understand that Freddie King and Albert Collins, these cats will listen to like Lightning Hopkins and Blind Lemon and you know, some of these older blues cats. You know?
And then later on, like Johnny Winter is also a big. I mean, I love Johnny. I mean, I got a chance to open up for him a few years before he passed away. I think around 2006, I opened for Johnny the Coach House in San Juan Capistrano.
Oh yeah.
And man, that was one of the best gigs I had because he heard my sound check, and I went in his trailer and talked to him. He's like, "Was that you on stage?" I said, "Yeah." He goes, "Oh, it sounded good." So Johnny Winter told me I sounded good. So everybody else can basically kick my ass. I don't really care.
he did the same thing for me. I met him. I can't remember what year it was. We were at the Long Beach Blues Festival.
Oh yeah.
I was the opening act, and it was him and Betty LeVette.
Oh man, I love her too.
He came up to me, and he, you know, he was standing over by a tree while we were playing. I was like, "Who's this?" I could, you know, again, I don't know nobody because I come out of gospel. And I'm like, "Who's this cat? This weird cat over here standing by the tree while we was playing?" And later I found out that's Johnny Winter. And he and I sat down and talked for a couple of minutes. I forgot all about that, man.
Man, what a great cat, man. What an incredible player. I mean, as far as slide guitar goes, is for me, it was him forever. And then, you know, then Derek Trucks, I think's the man now. But Johnny was definitely one of the best guitar players, slide players, soulful, just soulful. I mean, he took all that old Muddy Water stuff. He took all that. That's what I mean about passing it on, you know. He's a cat that took it and just took it to another level. And then you got cats now that are playing like him. You got the Eric Sardinas and other people that are very influenced by Johnny Winter. And then somebody's going to be influenced by Eric, you know.
Have you heard? I haven't heard from Eric in a while.
I haven't heard from Eric in a while either. I don't know what he's doing.
I mean, there was a while when I was touring that he was everywhere. And then, you know, last few years, it's like even before the COVID, he just kind of disappeared. So
I think he was overseas for a while. I'm not sure where he's at now, but I'm sure somebody out there knows. All
right. Gene Taylor. I met Gene Taylor in Europe. I met a lot of my heroes in Europe. And I know Gene passed away during the big ice storm. Most people don't know that, you know, he was with no heat and no food for like 8 days. And, you know, he's an older cat. And that kind of, I also want to give it up to another cat that made me feel welcome from day one in the San Diego area and all that. And that's James Harmon, the ice pick. James Harmon, I know he's not doing very well. We want you guys to continue to pray for Mr. Harmon. The cat is a bad cat. And then Zach Harmon, another brother who gave me much love from day one. First time I met him I was with the Manish Boys. He gave me love. So
I played in his band years ago. We played that what was it called? The Southside Review or something. Yeah, I played with Zach. I met him down at Mama's place down in Limerick Park.
I never got to go.
Oh man!
Remember, Mama did her shows on Monday.
Baby Ricky's. Yeah.
Mama did her shows on Monday. I was at Cozy's.
That's right. But I met Zach there. We did the Mid-South Blues Review, and then he turned it into the Zach Harmon Band, and then boom, the rest is history. But yeah, I was doing Brian O'Neill and the Bus Boys around 2001, 2003. I was playing in Zach Harmon's band. I was playing in my own band, and I had a full-time day job. So I was doing all. You're talking about working 3 jobs. I was doing all that.
I remember. That's around the time I kind of met you.
Yeah.
So, and then once I found out, you know, I was like, wow, you know, that's crazy.
I was very busy, but I loved it.
So were you with the Bus Boys when they would come to the Belly Up?
No, I did some. We did some out of state stuff. I did some touring with them for a minute. But yeah, I just did like 3 years of Brian, and then he played keyboards. Actually, talking about keyboard players, he did keyboards in my band when I played locally. When I was playing the Gig and Harvell, some other places around in LA. Brian would play keys for me, and I would play guitar and the busboys. We kind of did a swap thing for a while there.
Okay.
So yeah, man.
See, I'm into music, man.
Yeah,
see, I didn't know that. You just dropped some knowledge on us, some history that I didn't even know.
Boys Are Back in Town, all those songs.
Boys are back. Yeah. Dude, that was the beginning. If you remember, that was the beginning of the regeneration of the swing era. We had about 8-9 years there where all these big bands were doing the swing stuff.
Brian Setzer. Brian Setzer was doing. Well, he was still doing the Stray Cats, I think, back then.
God, there was a Squirrel Nut Zippers.
Yeah, Mighty Boss Tones. Was it Mighty Boss Tones?
Mighty Boss Tones. Yeah. It was big.
Yeah,
everybody was swinging. You know, these big ass bands. You know,
that when I first came to California, man, I thought T-Bone Walker was still alive. There were so many cats that were playing like T-Bone out here. I mean, it was really it was swinging, and they did it well too. I'm not. You know, there's no bad thing. They were swinging it well. They were doing T-Bone very well.
That's the basis of West Coast swing or West Coast blues. You know?
Absolutely.
Texas cat, and I'm from Texas. I got to put that right. Texas cat come California, took over.
That's right.
Everybody wanted to play like the Bone.
Everybody. I mean, he was the man. BB King. When I first heard BB's early records, listen to him. They sound like T-Bone Walker. And Chuck Berry was T-Bone Walker. He was the man that everybody wanted to be. He was clean. He was it was great.
He played a big guitar though. What was it?
335? 55? No, it was bigger than that. It was bigger. I forget what the model it is, but
it was huge.
And he used to hold it flat almost, like a flat guitar.
Yeah, sit it flat, like a pedal steel almost. Though.
And he did all the splits. He did the behind his head before Jimmy. He did all that stuff. He did all the tricks and did them well. Did them really well.
Young man from Mumbai, India, Hollywood Fats. He will know.
Oh, Hollywood Fats.
You ever play with Fats? I always thought the Kid Ramos, Jimmy Putnam guys who Okay, but you saw them play though.
I missed Hollywood Fats. I moved here in '85, so he had passed, or I just didn't know about him when I came here. But Dave Alvin,
you came the same time I did.
Yeah, Dave Alvin and all those guys from the Blasters really were big fans of Hollywood Fats. He was a bad cat, man. He actually played, I think, with Freddie King for a little while. I think Freddie had to fire him because he was getting so much love.
Oh wow!
But Fats was a bad cat, man. I love Hollywood Fats. He was. I got some bootleg stuff from them.
I had heard that they worked. Him and Kid and those guys. They also worked with one of my favorite big men. Wow, his name is Sigby. Come on in this house. Stop all that yakety yak.
Oh yeah. Big.
Why can't
what's his name? Big Joe Turner.
Big Joe Turner. Yeah, there you
go.
They backed up Joe whenever he was in town, and I guess he was.
So did the Blasters. The Blasters did that too. They backed up Joe Turner. They really and the keyboard player you're talking about, the one that just passed away, I think he was also involved with that that era. Yeah. And Gene was incredible, man.
Yeah, Gene was crazy. I love Gene though, but he was crazy as all get out, boy.
I didn't know him that well. He was highly respected. I know that he was very highly respected cat. So
I got to know him on a few occasions because of playing with Jimmy Bott and Kid Ramos and all those guys. I kind of slid into that scene later and got to hang with like that. But Dennis, man, we ain't gonna keep this on for those 2 hours. We already an hour.
Come on, man. Why not? Come on.
I know you got stuff to do. I've enjoyed it, man.
Me too.
The question of the day was, do the people around you, do they fill your bucket or do they empty your bucket? I want you to think about that. Today, my guest on the Sugar. Go ahead, brother.
And one thing, years ago, I bought. Speaking of that, what you just said, I bought a book. I think it's by Deepak Chopra. It's called "Don't Sweat the Small Stuff." It's a real quick read, but it's a great book. It's basically, 100 years from now, everybody here is going to be gone. So that's, in the scheme of things, how long this Earth's been here and this planet's been here, we can put that in perspective. So it's a really quick book to read, but it's don't sweat the small stuff. Let a lot of this stuff go and really pay attention to what matters. And that's the people around you and your own vessel here, yourself, your own life. So anyway, brother, you got it. Thank you for having me, man. Thank you.
Before you go, this young cat has asked this question twice, so let's give him a little bit. let's give him a little bit of advice. He said, what advice can you give to an artist entering the blues industry? I don't know if you want to go first, Dennis, or.
Well, it's up to you. I just say, first of all, be true to yourself. Try to understand what you're good at. If it's straight blues, if it's blues rock, if it's swing blues, I mean, not saying you got to do one thing, but just know who you are first, and then I think just start following people that are in your city, in your town, that you admire, and try to get to know them, try to get to play with them, try to find out what studios they record in, where they rehearse. Always be humble. Don't be an asshole. Be humble. And I think there's a lot of people that will mentor people that want to get in. I know I'm one. I know Sugar's one. People that want to, there's people out there that want to help you and pass along what they know to the next generation, to the next, group of people out there. And just be humble and learn. Keep your ears open more than your mouth. Keep your ears open and learn. And I think that's a big step to getting into, sending your stuff out, sending your stuff to labels, to booking agents. You might not get any response, but that's okay. Once every 6 months, send another one out so that they know who you are. They won't forget you, but don't be a pain in the ass. It's a tough business, like any other business in the arts. I don't care if you're acting or whatever you're doing in the arts, it's going to be tough. But stand out. Do something to stand out, no matter what it is. Don't just be looking like everybody else. Don't put on a brim because everybody else is wearing a brim. Do what makes you original, and it'll come. I think it'll happen for you. That's my opinion.
And that's great advice. And my advice to the young cat is, this is called the music business. I would tell you that the way this business works, you don't need a label, or you won't get really a label unless you're one of these lucky people that get one right off the back. But a lot of them wind up fizzing out because they haven't put the road miles and stuff in. That's what happens to all these people that win all these the Voice and the Chair and all this is, they get that one album that's promised to them from the record company, but they don't have all the other stuff in place, and they don't have the knowledge of having slept gear. And it's not up being a nasty thing. It is what it is. It changes your perspective, and you have a whole different outlook. And if you've never done that, if you've never toured like me, I'm a singer, and those that know me know how hard I sing. So imagine, like, I've done tours where I've had to sing 10 or 11 days in a row with my way of singing, and the fourth day the voice is gone, but you got to find a way, because you pro. People spend their money and time. You got to find a way to do this gig and make this gig sound good. Not just do this gig, but make this gig sound good. But the business side, that is big. Learn as much of the business side as you can, because
Absolutely.
that also will help you as you go along. But what I started out saying was, the way I learned and the way it looks to me is, you don't need a label until you get big enough. The labels will come to you. You don't need a booking agent. It's nice to have them, but you don't need one. You won't get one really until you get to the point where you don't need them, because this is business. So when they see that and it's not a bad thing. It is what it is. When they see that they can make money on you, and you can make money on them, then you get that partnership. So just keep on keeping on. Make sure one of the biggest things is, make sure you're picking your band carefully. What I mean by that is, you're talking about people that you're going to spend more time with them than you are your significant other. You need to make sure it's great to have great players, but if you have great players that don't get along, no matter how much they smile on stage and no matter how great they play, the people in the audience can feel it. And I can tell you that it's honest. It is an honest thing. And people will come and be like, well, what's wrong with so-and-so? Why the drummer and bass player are not laughing at each other and blah, 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 blah. Because you got to remember, when you're doing music and you open in your heart. And so people's hearts, or that seventh emotion, that seventh, what do you call it? You got the six senses, that seventh sense or whatever is open. And they don't even realize it, but they can feel all that. All that is open. And my job is to keep that channel open. But you got to make sure that, I've seen some great bands, and I won't call their names, going to knock down, drag out fights in front of 10,000 people at a show because, the guitar player and the keyboard player don't like each other. The drummer and the bass player don't like, it's a big deal. When I pick band members, there's a reason why I throw guys to the fire. And what I mean by that is somebody's a prospective candidate for me. Normally what I do is I bring them out to a gig and I throw them on stage with no preparation. They don't know the songs. They don't, and anybody seen me know that I go hard. And
you did to me before.
Yeah, but I knew you can hack it, dog. I knew you. I've had cats that just fold up. You're supposed to be these unbelievable musicians, and they just fold up. Because I got great musicians around me, and we pushing hard. And I want to see.
Gotta listen.
And are you gonna freak out, or are you just gonna find something to make it work?
That's right.
Because those are the type of cats that I bring in. But main thing is learn the business. As Dennis said, be true to you. And, if you do those things and invest, another really, really big one, and I was blessed, my wife Pam blessed me with that disability, but invest in yourself. I'm going to say that again. Invest in yourself. Now, that comes a lot of different ways. I'm a 7-piece band. Everybody know that. There are times where I have driven thousands of miles to play a $500 gig. It cost me more than that in gas to get there. But the money I spent, the $2,400 I spent to get there, I looked at it as an investment to me. Because back then, I'm like, I didn't have a distribution deal. I didn't have a record company. I set my own little record company. And there was only one way, this before the internet got really big. And even with, we call it Facebook records, all that doesn't really mean anything. Right. You can have 1 million people and you can put out all the tweets and all the emails you want. And you're probably going to get 50 of those people from that 1 million people to come to the show.
Right.
So I realized that I would do it the old-fashioned way, that I would get out and go show by show to build up my name. Now, that's very expensive. But I looked at it, and Pam and I both looked at it as an investment in me. And it's paid off down the road.
Yeah, I'll give you one example, and then we can get out of here. But the same thing you just said, I went to Australia 2 years ago, basically on my own dime. I had 5 shows. I had a pickup band over there. I invested in myself to go there. And when I left, I had a booking agent. So it was worth the trip there. So when I go back this next time, I'll have festivals. We actually had festivals, but COVID, of course, never mind. Long story short, it was really going that way. That's why last year was going to be much bigger. But, I did make the contacts. I had to spend my money to take a chance, but I believed in myself. And I got a booking agent to come back. So it was worth every dime to go over there. So,
and the same thing happened to me. I started playing in Europe years ago in France. And what happened was I put out Blind Alley, and this young lady who used to be a lawyer who started on the road again, she was looking for clients. And I hadn't been to Europe to play. And she actually tracked me down and got a hold of Pam. And again, another one story where I come home and Pam like, "You going to France?" And for 3 years, I toured. Literally, I have been almost every city in France from north, south, east, and west. But I toured for 3 years with a French band called the Flying Saucers Gumbo Special. They learned my material, Flying Saucer for short, and they toured with me all over France, Lithuania, Spain, Germany. And I did that with that band. Even though my band back home is upset, but they don't realize, it's $1,500, $2,000 a ticket right now. I'm only making $1,500, guys. I'm building the name. I'm
laying the groundwork. You're laying the groundwork, man.
A lot of times you're not making anything. You're lucky if you break even. But I'm laying the groundwork. And years later, what wound up happening is then the promoter starts saying, "Well, we want you, but we want you with your American band."
There you
and I'm
go.
like, "Okay, well, we can do that for this price."
Right.
So, and my biggest thing is learn the business, or at least much as you can. You'll never know it all. I mean, even now, I've been in the business a long time. There's always ways people sitting there like, "What?" Learn the business, and then invest in yourself. Those are the 2 things I want to leave with. Dennis Jones,
thank you, brother.
Jammer.
Thank you.
I appreciate you being here. I hope you had a good time.
I had a good time. Much love, brother. I really appreciate talking to you, having me on, and meeting some new fans here online. And thank you all for tuning in, and even the people I know. Everybody. Thank you so much you could be doing anything right now, but you're here listening to us talk about music, and hopefully everybody got something good out of it. Thank you so much. Much love to you all. Be safe, And to you and your families, be well, and hope to see you real soon. Peace, brother.
Right on. Y'all, I'm out of here. And as always, as I say, for God's sakes, please be good to one another and to yourself. We'll holler. Next Tuesday, my guest will be Mr. Kid Anderson. We'll be talking to him all the way from Norway, baby. I'll holler. Y'all be safe. Blessings on y'all.